Hello, Dallas Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Cowboys Blog. I'm John Madden, and now let's get to today's topic.
Highway?
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
Turn out the lights. The party's over. All right, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the blockbuster traded trades. This is serious. Boom, baby. Micah Parsons has been traded by Jerry Jones. Right. That is the thumbnail. Jerry trades Micah Parsons. All right. And I'm going to tell you why this is what it is. This is the case. This isn't the Cowboys trading Micah Parsons. This is Jerry Jones. All right. This is classic Jerry Jones. He will get rid of you if you cross him. All right. Somewhere along the lines, he felt disrespected or whatever it was. You know, I'm just saying this is what it is. This is really what this is about. All right. I mean, he has a history of doing this, whether it was with Jimmy Johnson, even with some of the players, Amari Cooper. And, you know, the list goes on, man. It's just you cross him, you know, he'll move you out of here. You know what I mean? And this has been boiling. It became personal. So Jerry traded him away. The compensation, 2 first-round picks, 1 in 2026, 1 in 2027, and Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark. All right, so you do fortify that middle of the defense, but you take a big hit on the edge rush aspect. All right, they're going to try to sell this to you, you know, as far as like, they're going to try to sell this season as we're going to be okay, but we're not. This season was torpedoed the minute they signed Schottenheimer. I'm completely sold on that. I have not bought into any of this Kool-Aid. It's just, I think they're just trying to mask what their plans are, especially now, you know. But like I mentioned, like I tweeted, do you trust these guys in drafting at a high level? I don't, you know. And you're going to see this narrative. You're already seeing it from the mothership. Oh, Will McClay, these guys, they draft really well, you know. With all due respect, they have not. You know what I mean? And if you're just talking about a first-round pick, it's been hit and miss. I was talking to Danny Savage earlier today, and look at that Mozzie draft class, bro. Hardly anybody is there, and this is just, you know, barely 3 years ago. And almost the whole draft class is gone or unusable. You know, terrible. They do not draft good. They haven't been drafting good, dude. So that part I'm terrified about, but they pulled the Band-Aid off. They're moving on. This is what it is. You know what I mean? But the defense, even if we had Micah, we weren't going to win that game, dude. One player, like, we need a lot of players, dude. This team has built this team the wrong way through draft and develop, missing on a lot of picks, being cheapos in free agency. So from that aspect, as far as building the roster, a competitive roster, we're in for another dark age, you know. And will this $12 billion franchise weather this storm? It's going to be a storm, guys. I'm being completely honest here. This is really how I feel. You know what I mean? I wish I could be optimistic, but I didn't like what they did with the head coach hiring. You know what I mean? The preseason has been totally trash. That last one, who's going to show up in that last preseason game? One of those teams is going to look like, oh, we're all badass now. Everything's clicking now. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a roller coaster ride, guys. You know what I mean? Now, looking forward, you know what I mean? And also, what does this mean? This also means that Schottenheimer's going to get a pass right out the bat. This won't be a one and done, even if they go 1-16. You know what I mean? This whole deal, the distractions, the HBO in season, this whole drama with these guys. The players, they're going to feel a certain kind of way. Maybe they're not going to want to show up on game day. You know, some of these players are looking at this like, hey, man, like, how are we going to compete now? Like, what's the use of putting it all on the line now? So we are going to be in for a couple bad seasons here. They're going to have to use those picks to draft as good as they could. The only way that this whole thing comes out roses for the Cowboys is if you have some sort of game plan to get Arch Manning in 2 years, or Jerry Jones has an under the table deal for Archie Jr. to come out, but they've said that no, he's going to come out in 2027. So, and that's a pipe dream, though. At the end of the day, Cowboys probably aren't going to do that. It's what a lot of us want, but it probably won't happen. So everybody loses in this trade. All right. And these picks are basically, they're going to be, Micah's going to improve that team. They're going to be in the running in that division and in the playoffs. So, yeah, they're first round picks, but they're at the bottom of the first round. The Cowboys draft terribly at the end of the first round. I mean, look at the horror stories. Outside of Travis Frederick, it's scary, bro. They're terrible at drafting at the bottom of the draft. So, but yeah, but everybody loses. Micah's not going to be the same player as he was here in Dallas. His history shows you that these players typically, when they move on, unless you're like the one-off, like a Reggie White, you know what I mean? And that is rarefied air. You know, Reggie White was able to move on from Philly and played at a high level with the Packers. But even some people will say that he was still played a better level at the Eagles. So Khalil Mack, another example, he didn't play as well as he was, early on in his career. He had a couple of one-off really good seasons, but he kind of faded. So nobody wins here. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's an ugly divorce, and it's kind of like a divorce, right? Nobody really wins. You just have to roll with it and move on, and try to rebuild yourself, from it. So I'm not mad at it. I just think it's hilarious. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I'm going to really stay on top of is this narrative that we're going to be drafting all badass, because they haven't been. You go look at these draft classes, the recent ones. Look at it top to bottom, man. Because the Cowboys say it. They say that they're one of the better drafting teams in the league, which is BS. You know what I mean? If you're just talking the first round pick, maybe. But even some of those have been train wrecks. Now, if you're looking at the whole draft classes, no, they're not. They're not, man. Stop bullshitting people, bro. All right, so I've been saying that they need to reboot that, man. They need to move on from McClay. They need to reshuffle their scouts, hire some guys. They lost some scouts. The remnants of Parcells, they're all gone. They gutted it out. So you have a bunch of yes, ma'am, yes, sir type of dudes in here with no motivation. The drafting has been shitty, dude. So 2 first-round picks, Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons. Guys, let me know what you thought about the trade. How are you feeling about it? Are you confident that the Cowboys are going to be able to leverage those picks and draft good players? Will they package some of those picks in 2027 to get Arch Manning? And does anybody believe that that's on the table? It will be. But it's going to take more than 2 first. It's probably going to take like 4. So you're going to have to give those 2 that you have and then 2 future first. So might be doable. But, we're talking about 2 seasons away. We'll see how this roster looks. Does this give the Cowboys some leverage as far as like bringing back players? DeRon Bland, you can probably extend him now. You can bring back all these people now, like Aubrey, Pickens, DeRon Bland. You can now probably bring all these guys back and then see how you do with the drafting. But let me know how you guys are feeling right now, guys. How are you feeling about Jerry Jones giving Micah Parsons the boot? This is Jerry Jones. It's not the Cowboys. All right. Let's get that straight. All right, that's what this trade was about. Peace, everybody.
Yeah, old school, baby.